Now enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled.
So Maher just exposed the hypocrisy of your favorite Hollywood darlings, and it was pure comedy gold. I've said it 1,000 times, trust these woke celebrities at your own peril. The level of double standards they live by would make even the devil blush. From George Clooney's performative politics to Bernie Sanders' millionaire morals, Maher torched every last one of them without mercy. And honestly, it was long overdue. Welcome to Pixel Fork now, let's dive into the carnage.
Are not good people. It's just not in us, including me. And I'm tired of living well, not a lie, but it's also something I never mention, but it's a new year, and I'd like to come clean. My name is Bill. And I fly private. And so does every other person who calls themselves an environmentalist who can.
So Maher kicked things off by admitting he's a strong advocate for saving the environment, yet he flies private. Yep, that's the kind of green hypocrisy we're talking about, and it perfectly sums up these self-righteous celebrities. They love lecturing everyone else about carbon footprints, while racking up more air miles than a presidential campaign. They've got all the right slogans, the trendy buzzwords, and the latest climate studies memorized like a script. But when it's time to actually live by those principles, silence. It's performative activism at its finest, virtue signaling for applause, not impact. And Maher for once called them out exactly as they deserve.
Enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled.
That's exactly why I don't take these people seriously beyond the characters they play on screen. Most of these celebrities pocket massive paychecks to promote their so-called Save the Planet campaigns. It's all branding, not belief, and even the ones who claim they're doing it for free, please. They're just polishing their image, trying to look noble and selfless while living lifestyles that scream excess. This isn't about saving the planet. It's about saving their reputation. The private jets, the mansions, the luxury cars, all conveniently justified under the banner of awareness. And did you catch Bernie Sanders in the mix? The so-called man of the people suddenly looked mighty comfortable among the Hollywood elite.
The environmentalists of Hollywood and Washington do it. Their position on climate change is, we must do more to stop pouring carbon into the air, except for me when I want to go somewhere and then I take a...
Interestingly, most of the celebrities Maher roasted are the very same ones who proudly declared their undying support for Kamala Harris or jumped at the chance to endorse her campaign. They're day-hard Democrats, and what's always at the top of the Democratic policy checklist? Saving the environment. For the past 20 years, we've heard them scream it from award show stages, red carpets, and social media feeds, lecturing everyone else on how to live greener lives. Yet, after all that talk, what's actually been achieved? Nothing meaningful. The climate hasn't improved. Emissions haven't dropped. And their carbon footprints are bigger than ever. Why? Because it's all performance empty speeches and PR stunts designed to look righteous. They crave applause, not accountability. They champion causes they barely understand, then return to their gas-guzzling lifestyles without a second thought.
There is one thing in this world that is completely impossible to resist, and this is it. It's like heroin. If you do it once, you'll never stop. There are two kinds of people in the world, those who fly private and those who would if they could.
Bill Maher is just being honest here, and honestly, I agree with him. If I ever had the chance to fly private, I absolutely would. Who wouldn't? It's convenient, fast, and spares you the chaos of commercial travel. No endless security lines, no delayed boarding, no cramped seats with zero legroom, and definitely no soggy in-flight meals that taste like cardboard. Flying commercial has become an endurance test, not an experience. Flying private, on the other hand, is pure bliss, comfort, privacy, and peace rolled into one. You set your own schedule, stretch your legs, and actually enjoy the journey instead of just surviving it. So yes, I get it. Maher's point isn't that flying private is evil. It's that pretending to be morally superior while doing it is where the real hypocrisy lies.
Third category, those who could but do not, does not exist. Except for Ed Begley and Greta Thunberg. And that's why you never see a picture of her smiling. Ed and Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of and I'm done being full of.
Now, I've got my fair share of reservations about Greta Thunberg. Honestly, I think she's often more performative than passionate. There's something about her activism that feels rehearsed, almost phony. But credit where it's due on this issue, I actually agree with Maher, unlike the Hollywood elites who scream about saving the planet. While zipping around the globe in private jets, Greta at least practices what she preaches. She walks the talk quite literally. Whether it's taking trains or sailing across the Atlantic to avoid flying, she stays consistent with her message. And that's something these so-called eco-conscious celebrities can't say for themselves. She could easily afford the luxury of comfort and convenience, but instead she chooses the harder, more disciplined route. So love her or hate her, at the very least, Greta has the courage to live by the same environmental standards she expects from everyone else.
I can take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take being a hypocrite. Now, I always justified renting a plane because I only used it for work and literally could not get to most of my stand-up gigs on time any other way. How do you think I did it all those years? I said goodnight here at 8 p.m. and was on stage in Vegas at 10. But I don't need to do stand-up, like tomorrow night in Albuquerque.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what the Democratic Party has become, a masterclass in being woke and hypocritical. They love preaching lofty ideals, parading themselves as the moral compass of America. But behind the curtain, it's all smoke and mirrors. They'll fight tooth and nail for ideologies they don't genuinely believe in, all to score political points or win applause from Hollywood and the media. It's no longer about conviction. It's about optics. Every statement is perfectly polished. Every word is carefully chosen to avoid offending anyone. They tiptoe around every issue, terrified of being labeled insensitive or problematic. And in that obsession with political correctness, they've lost all authenticity. Instead of standing for something real, they stand for whatever happens to be trending, a party of slogans, not substance.
Outside of heads of state, almost everyone else could fly commercial. Why don't they? Ask anyone who tried to get home for Christmas last year. And don't tell me the younger generation is better. They're not. They're just poorer. They're actually worse. This is who they look up to. The family where everyone has their own private jet. And kids love Bitcoin, which, to determine the value of, takes an amount of computer processing that uses more electricity than some whole countries. Kids could have rejected that, but they didn't. They love it. Why? Because they want to be rich. Why? So they can fly.
Maher then turned his attention to the younger generation within the Democratic Party, and he didn't hold back. He pointed out that despite being the most educated group in history when it comes to environmental issues, they're repeating the very same mistakes as their predecessors, these young, Democrats have attended countless climate conventions, signed endless memorandums, and marched in every protest they could find. Yet, as Ma hilariously noted, their so-called passion for saving the planet isn't rooted in moral conviction, it's rooted in circumstance. They care because they're broke. It's easy to be green when you can't afford a private jet or a mansion with 12 air conditioners. Ma's take was brutally honest. Give this same generation the wealth and luxury of the elites they criticize, and they'd be just as bad, maybe even worse. Their activism, he suggested, might simply be poverty dressed up as virtue.
No one can resist it. John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy, you wouldn't need coal.
Yep, Ma kept dropping truth bombs on the DNC, and this one hit hard. John Kerry, the man appointed as the United States presidential envoy for climate change, was caught flying on a private jet. And no, this wasn't before his appointment, it was after. That's what makes it worse. You can't claim to be leading the global fight against climate change while cruising the skies in a gas-guzzling private plane. It completely shatters your credibility. Ma's point was crystal clear. You can't preach virtue while practicing vice. The hypocrisy is staggering. These are the same people lecturing ordinary Americans about cutting emissions. Yet they live lifestyles that burn through more fuel in a week than most families do in a year. This isn't leadership, it's hypocrisy in designer suits, wrapped in political righteousness.
Sorry, not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets. It's true, because then they have kids. I had the first generation Prius in 2001. It looked like a Tylenol gel cap. I was always handing my keys to valets who were driving a better car than me. I had the first Tesla in 2010, and honestly, both these cars sucked. The Tesla came up to about here on me. If I had a hard-on, I couldn't fit in this thing.
So the rest of Ma's rant turned into a mix of self-awareness and self-praise. Classic Ma, he started hyping himself up for doing his part to save the environment, proudly mentioning that he drives a Tesla and genuinely hoped others would follow his lead. But as he admitted, most people didn't. In fact, the opposite happened. The more people learned about electric cars, the more reasons they found to stick with gas-powered ones. From high costs and the inconvenience of charging stations to battery disposal issues and the fact that electricity still largely comes from fossil fuels. The irony writes itself. Ma, in his usual sarcastic tone, acknowledged that the green dream hasn't exactly turned into a movement. Instead, it's become another example of how even good intentions can backfire when reality doesn't match the virtue signaling narrative.
Both times I said to myself, okay, I'll take one for the team because I have a platform, so I'll do the right thing, and then everybody will follow. People will. Nobody followed. In 2021, 80% of new vehicles weren't electric, weren't even hybrid. They weren't even cars. They were SUVs and trucks. That's what people want. In 1973, the share of global electricity generated by coal was 38%. You know what it was 46 years later in 2019, after all the talk and all the trying? 37%. You know what percentage of plastic gets recycled? 5%. Those blue bins that are everywhere, they're not full of bottles, they're full of
Humans really are a strange species. We love to talk about doing good, sound righteous, and act like we care. But when given the chance to actually live by those values, most of us do the exact opposite. It's in our nature to crave convenience over conscience. We'll post hashtags about saving the planet, then hop on the next flight for a weekend getaway. We'll condemn pollution online, then drive solo in gas-guzzling SUVs. That's why the global campaign against climate change isn't moving anywhere meaningful. It's not a lack of awareness, it's a lack of genuine will. Everyone wants change, but no one wants to change until that hypocrisy ends. All the summits, speeches, and slogans in the world will just be noise echoing through a warming planet. In the end, Maher simply held up a mirror, and what we saw wasn't pretty. Hollywood, politicians, and activists alike love to preach morality, but live in contradiction. Until people start practicing what they preach, the fight against hypocrisy and climate change will remain nothing more than empty rhetoric. On that note, we draw the curtains on today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to Pixel Fork for more videos like this.